Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 16th to the 30th, 2025 reading for you. Now, if you are interested in a private reading, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It is linked in the description box below. So let's keep on seeing what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. I'm really liking this. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, interesting. Ooh, okay. Angels and spirit guides. All right. I really like the last half of September for you. Now, I know some might be looking at the Nine of Wands and saying, I don't want that to be how things end, but it's not a bad thing. You are standing in your strength, you're standing in your power, so you are really looking at what it is that you want, Libra, and you're being very decisive, you're being very determined, you're being very focused during this time. So at the heart of everything is the Two of Cups. This is healing, beautiful love, this is connection, this is joy, this is calm. And I don't know about you, but me, I love the calm. So here, with that calm coming in, that balancing of your own personal energy, that connection with love, a bit of romance, passion, connection, that's all fantastic. And however you want that to come into your life, whether it's through a romantic relationship, whether it's through friendship, whether it's just through the arts and enjoyment of life and existence, you are really embracing a calm, passionate, kind of fire of being, heart of self moving you forward. 2 is about creativity. The number 2 brings creativity. Now, the challenge is the Two of Swords. The challenge is that you're going to see things a very certain way. So just be aware of that you can be like, well, there's point A and there's point B. This is the way we go about it. This is what's logical. This is how it's done. And this is going to be a time here, Libra, where you're wanting to break the mold, like you're wanting to go your own way, do your own thing, but you are still going to be held to traditions of others or this sense of, no, but that's the path. And Spirit's going to be opening up different paths to you, different ways of understanding, a more unique, beautiful sense of self that's going to move you forward, that's going to really help you embrace what you want, really step into what it is that you truly desire, the sense of like there's something missing, right? You are now going to find that, yes, it is a bit of a challenge to open up your own path, but to really embrace your dreams and really to kind of look at things in a different way, but it's going to be so worth it. During this time, where we need to focus is that you're learning, right? You are a student of your passion, you're a student of what you desire, you're a student of your mind. And you're going to be getting gifts from God, Source, Spirit. However you see the divine, the universe, they're going to be sending you messages, insights, deeper understandings. You are going to be connected spiritually to the spirit world, meaning that your connection to spirit is going to be strong and your intuitive knowledge is going to open the doors and guide you forward in ways that you hadn't imagined before. So with the Page of Swords as your root, what you're going to find is that you love asking questions. You love diving deeper into things. You're curious. You're exploratory. You're not afraid, right? You're not afraid to ask the questions. You're not afraid to have it seem like you don't know everything. And a lot of people in our world, they want to seem like they have all the answers. And this is going to be a time where you're really going to embrace the joy of having a lot of questions, of looking at things differently, diving into things more deeply for yourself. And that's very, very good. You are also astoundingly clever, meaning that you are going to be very good at learning. You're going to be very good at taking in information. You're also going to be very good at talking with people. Now, the air sign energy, all air sign energies have this as a warning. So it's not just you, Libra, but do be aware that you can be a bit blunt, a bit to the point of things. And you're like, well, isn't that what life is about? Getting to the heart of the matter. And there's a little bit more finesse that's going to go into things at times. So just be aware of that. With the Fool as the energy that you're leaving behind, you've already taken some really big leaps of faith on what you want, on where you're going, on what you're looking for in your life. And so you've you've jumped over a chasm, and now it's about putting down those roots. It's about claiming your space. It's about claiming your power. And with the 10 of Swords as the energy to be, not to be mindful of, but the 10 of Swords is always to be mindful of, but it's also your strength. So your strength is going to be this transformation of self, this deeper insight into what it is that you desire. I also always see this as my minor arcana Scorpio card. So if you have Scorpio in your chart, if you're born on the cusp with Scorpio, that's going to come out during this time as well. But you've been very impacted by the words of others. So that's going to be important during this time, is that you're seeing the impact that others' words have had on you, that, hurts and pains and callousness has had on you. And you're seeing yourself rise now, rise into a new power, rise into a new authority, rise into a new distinction. And as you're doing that, okay, as you're rising out of this place of emotional turmoil, of constantly second-guessing yourself, you're seeing yourself step into the role of queen. The Queen of Swords is the most misunderstood of the queens. So everybody likes their queens to be this benevolent, loving, caring, peaceful person, right? That's what the queen is supposed to be. She's supposed to be the calm of the nation. She doesn't have to be. And a lot of times, historically, she wasn't. She could be just as fierce as a king, if not more so, especially if the king was a bit, dim. So here, with the Queen of Swords, you're a powerhouse. What history might call a she-wolf of the past, which wasn't a compliment, though I do think that that is rather a great title to have. The Queen of Swords, but Shakespeare didn't. So the Queen of Swords is cutting through doubts and fears and negativities, hurts, pains, disappointments, is really getting to the heart of the matter of things. But she also knows that she has earned her place. She is not one of the queens that, just kind of had this soft, cushy existence. She had to fight. And as you, Libra, have had to fight, have had to move forward in distinction, have had to cut through the doubt of your own mind, the chaos of your own thoughts, and really move forward and saying, this is what I know, this is what I want, this is where I'm headed, and this is what I'm going for. No one and nothing is going to stop me. You're going to see that you're reaching new heights. Now, with this queen, she has chainmail on, on her head. So that's a weird way to put it. But, I forget what it's called. And if you know, leave it in the comment box below, because I'm totally blanking on the word. But here, there's that guarding of the mind. There's also the guarding of the neck, a vulnerable part of us. But in the guarding of the neck, there can also be seen as a guarding of the voice. So during this time, you are going to speak more carefully. And you have learned from the page energy here to the queen energy here, as we step into this energy, that words need to be thought of before you speak. But sometimes you can think too much and then miss your chance to speak. So there's a balance that's going on here. So just be aware of that during this time. With the Queen of Swords, you are embracing power and authority. You have the beautiful, blue-purple of the robes, a sign of royalty. Red was a color of royalty, and so was blue, because they were such hard colors to dye and so, so, so expensive. So during this time, you aren't afraid to show your wealth, but you're also not afraid to say, this is what I've earned. This is how I move forward. This is what I'm going after. And it brings you from the Queen of Swords, who is a misunderstood queen, yes, and you can feel misunderstood, but you can also know that part of your challenge in this lifetime is to embrace your strength, is to move forward in tenacity, determination, and authority. You weren't meant to be a shrinking violet in the corner. That's somebody else's job. You are meant to move forward in power of voice and power of mind, and to build something through that power of voice, through the ability you have with words, that is quite substantial. And then it moves you to the advice, which is the Empress. Now, this can be somebody older and wiser that you are getting advice from, or wisdom that you are taking, and it is guiding you. But this is also a real sense of movement in and of itself. Rhiannon is the goddess of horses in Welsh mythology. And you're going to see here that movement is important. There's power in your movement. You are not meant to stay in one place forever and ever and ever. And even if you do, because putting down roots is fun and being a beautiful, oak tree is astounding, what you're going to see in and of yourself is that you are embracing the magic of the mind, the power of your consciousness. And you are also really embarking on your creative journey. You're really embracing, during the last half of September, your creativity, your intuition, your determination to build something that is bigger than what you had imagined it could be. And we can see queens and empresses as natural nurturers, right? Their job was to produce an heir. And that can be blunt, but it is also true. But what we're going to see within ourselves is that doesn't have to be our job or our calling. What it is to produce and to create the song that sings within our hearts. It's to bring forward that knowledge. It's to bring forward that beauty. It's to bring forward that creativity. And sometimes it gets caught, especially in the cruelness of our world, where it feels like, how can I create? How can I cultivate? My heart is breaking because of this, because of that. And yet, Rhiannon had her heart broken, had everything stripped from her. And she was a fairy princess. She could have gone back and left the mortal world and embraced her fairy one and just been fine. But she withstood. She suffered, because then she was rewarded tenfold. And it doesn't mean that we have to suffer to be rewarded tenfold, but it does mean do not lose sight of your dreams, even when it gets hard. It brings us then to the environment, which this is sweetness like honey melting on your lips. This is something that is beautiful. This is something that is powerful for you. The 9 of Cups is sharing your wealth and your bounty and your heart. It is a sense of a job well done. It is beauty that ignites. It is joy that comes forward. And it's a wish being granted. You're seeing your hard work paying off during this time, but you're also starting to see yourself, Libra, in a very different way than you have before. Now, the hopes and the fears are the 4 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles is an interesting card because it's vampiric energy. It's being drained. It's being overwhelmed. So an acknowledgement of that needs to be had, that you're going to be severing ties of chaos, of hurt, of pain, very much what the Queen of Swords is doing, severing those ties of what you no longer want in your life, of the chaos that has, that has held onto you, shackled you, held you back. And what you're going to see is that as you set yourself free, the 4 of Pentacles is also about, okay, I do need to heal, right? I need to heal my chakra energy. I need to balance myself, and I need to guard my energy so that I'm not drained, so that I'm not overwhelmed. It's not being miserly. We can, go into this kind of like fetal mode where you're just guarding yourself. It's like, I can't, I just need to focus on surviving. So that's an energy that if you are experiencing it, first of all, I'm sorry. But if you are experiencing it, be kind to yourself, because it is part of your process. During this time, you do need to heal. But as you release the toxicity, the negativity, the chaotic energy, you're going to find that you are seeing how you want your wealth to flow, how you want your bounty to come in. And it doesn't mean, I know I always say this, that we're going to have the biggest house on top of a hill. But what it does mean is that we are going to have a sweet and prosperous life where we enjoy and we build. And it brings us then to the outcome of the 9 of Wands. We are tired of endless fighting. We are tired of feeling like we have to prove ourselves to anybody. So this is going to be a time where you might see yourself stepping back and being like, I'm not doing, I'm not playing this game. I'm not doing what everybody else has said, right? And you're going to be looking at the path that others walk, or that others say, oh, this is how you do it. And you're going to be saying no, because you're going to be living to the song that is in your heart, to the healing that is guiding you forward, to the soothing love that is opening up your world. And as you do so, you let yourself heal. But you also realize that you've withstood many, many storms. And you start to be proud. You start to see yourself in power and authority, in beauty and in distinction. And it moves us to your spirit message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And you have 2 here. Blossom and beauty. You're blossoming into your beauty. It doesn't matter your age. So often we sit there and go, oh my gosh, I'm not, I'm not in my teens, I'm not in my 20s, like I'm not blossoming into my beauty anymore. It's like, yes, you are. Every single day, there's a different season of beauty that people have. And you are claiming it, you are owning it. You know, there's a fallacy in our world that everybody has to be young, which is just silly because you're only young for a very short period of time. And usually when you're young, you're clumsy with it, right? You don't know what you're doing and you're desperately trying to be seen as older because that's where all the power is. So let yourself be where you are now. Let yourself embrace your heart's energy of joy, prosperity, happiness, success. Let laughter come in. And don't define yourself by an age. Define yourself by your energy. Define yourself by your curiosity, because you're opening up doors and you're stopping holding yourself back. And it brings us then to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides shown clearly. Balance. This is the root chakra. At the root of us, you know, this is like where your tailbone is. So you can always tap your tailbone. That also feels very good when you tap your tailbone and you get rid of any stagnant energy there. But you're finding yourself coming into balance, coming into harmony, coming into understanding of what you want. There is going to be this understanding. There is this wisdom that is leading you during this time, and it's opening up doors. It has to do with your root chakra. You're rooting yourself in balance and harmony in the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine, the Two of Cups. It moves us then to our energy to be mindful of, angels and spirit guides. And this is the Prince of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So it can be, hey, listen, be mindful of a fire sign energy, but it is also, hey, listen, be mindful of people's passions, of other people's desires and wants, and fire and ferocity taking over. And their fire and ferocity being like, oh, well, I have to match fire with fire. You don't. You don't. You can feed fire quite easily. Air feeds fire quite easily. So what you're going to see here is that, yes, you can have a bit of a temper during this time. All right? And yes, you can get caught up in other people's drama. That can be fun. It would be like, oh, what's going on here? But what you're going to see for yourself is that you're stepping back out of the chaos of others, and you're stepping into the power of your voice and your imagination, your mind, and you're letting that open up to you in a way that is extraordinary, in a way that has you falling in love with yourself, like seeing yourself openly and honestly for the first time and embracing things that are truly beautiful to you. And you're like, oh, wow, why did I lose this? Like, how did I get so far away at times from why I'm truly here? And it brings us then, and you might not have gotten away from why you're truly here, but you are being reintroduced to it in the last half of September. You're becoming more yourself and less trying to embrace others' passions. This can also be somebody who's a love them and leave them type of person. Just know that about whenever we're told to be mindful of Wands energy. It can be very passionate, very, very fun, right? But not have a lot of substance to it. So just be aware. It moves us then to our subconscious spirit message, which is love. We are embracing love of self, love of connection, and just love in our lives. And the blossoming of beautiful love is a fantastic way to see our hearts. It moves us then to our chakra energy, which is peace. And here, this is the crown chakra. We are crowning ourselves with peace, with harmony, with joy of heart. And then we have our energy to be mindful of. It's the 9 of Swords. We do tend to worry, so do be mindful about that we can over worry, over doubt, over fear, think about it too much, and then just come up with reasons why everything should go, south. But also with the 9 of Swords, this is nightmares. Subconsciously, we can have our fears that hide like monsters under our bed be coming out during this time. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the swords are on the wall, but they're horizontal, not vertical, right? So here, you don't really see the ladder, but if you turn it this way, you see the ladder. What you're going to find is that subconsciously, you're painfully pulling yourself out of fears and nightmares, of doubts of the mind. So why Spirit says painfully, it's not that you're in pain, but that it's been a long road. And especially if you have sadness or depression or anything like that, it is a long road. But you need to acknowledge the nightmares and see that they don't get to hold on to you anymore. They just don't. And it brings us then to our chakra, not our chakra energy, I do apologize. It brings us then to our tarot energy, which is, of course, justice. And why I say, of course, is because you're represented by justice in the minor arcana, in the major arcana, Libra. So this is the very essence of you coming forward. During the last half of September, you're embracing the very essence of you. You're finding a balance of the scales. You're seeing what is true, what is powerful, and what is distinguished of what you truly love, want, and honor within your life. The doors are opening in the most exquisite way, and you are awed of what unfolds. And it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful because you yourself are embracing your beauty and you're letting yourself shine in a way that you have been a little bit shy to before. And now you're not shy anymore. You're stepping into your role exquisitely. All right, Libra, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Have a blessed last half of September and a blessed life. Bye.